So yesterday, just to give some reference, last year we did close to 924 million from a YouTube channel, and one of our and one of our consultants took home 5 million dirhams just because he worked on a plan. He was consistent. Now, of course, he's taking a break, but he was just at a particular blueprint. So today we're going to discuss that blueprint, and whoever can follow that blueprint for the next 6 to 8 months, success is inevitable, but it cannot be just mechanical. There's a certain amount of brain involved in it. To understand the brain angle of it, I'm going to give you 2 stories to make it a little easier, okay? Now, how many of you are aware that there's this UFC fight happening on the White House right now? Everyone's aware? No? Okay. It's a very interesting incident, right? Because imagine on a public ground, like White House, there's a UFC cage fight, on Trump's birthday. And there were like fighter jets flying out, VIP tickets being sold. I don't know, it's crazy, okay? But, so yesterday, we made a bet, okay? So one of my friends, because I don't bet, but one of my friends made an easy $1,000 in 20 minutes. But we made $1,000 out of geopolitical knowledge. I'll explain how. So there were 2 fighters, okay? One fighter, he's undefeated, okay? 17-0, 29 years old, okay? Undefeated. Spanish guy, okay? Born in Germany. Everyone is supporting this fight. So basically, if I bet $100 on this guy, I make $150 because everyone's expecting this guy to win. The other fighter was 37 years old. His track record is not as good as the first fighter, okay? Like 27 wins but 5 losses. But 37 years old, If you bet $100 on this guy, you make $1,000, okay? But I told my friend to bet on this guy. You know why? He's American. Now, I was like, there's no way in hell an American can lose on American grounds in front of the White House. There's no ways, and it's a beautiful fight, So when everyone's betting on this other guy, when we placed a bet based on geopolitical information on this guy, we made $1,000 in 20 minutes. Now, the takeaway of this story is people will pay a lot of money to people who are able to predict, who are able to consult, who are able to analyze situations out of the box. Now, if you look at a UFC fight like a UFC fight, you're a broker. But if you look at a UFC fight and start thinking, that's weird, that's awkward, why is a UFC fight happening on White House grounds? It's a public ground. How many people support this? How many people are against this? So if you understand the polls, right, 76% of Americans were against the concept. 76%. So how does that impact the market? How does it impact stocks? How does it impact crypto? How does it impact the next elections? This is how a consultant thinks. And then we go further deeper down. If you want to make serious money, then you start getting into these angles, but I'm not going to suggest betting because betting is illegal in Dubai. So this is story number 1, okay? And another very important fact, right? This Friday, hopefully we are signing the ceasefire agreement. So all the predictions that were made against Dubai, this is the time we need to hit it all out, right? Because Dubai is going to hit all out and we're going to be along with it because we were one of the people who came and predicted this. We said, so we went online and we said, by October, the market is fully back on track. Because why? Right now, all the big developers taking a back seat. Follow the capital. If people like EMAAR, Dubai Holdings have taken a back seat, they exactly know. And again, EMAAR has just announced, right, 200 billion dirham community. It's being launched by the end of the year. And we know where the location is. I hope we all know where the location is. We'll discuss that as well. But this is why we always say, follow the government, follow the capital, and you'll exactly know how to make money. Second story, okay? Esther was walking in a mall. And this couple came to me like, "Hi, Mohammed Zohaib, how are you?" And I was like, "Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you." And then he's like, "Hey, I've been following you since 2019." And I was like, "Oh, that's amazing, man. That's pretty awesome." And then later we started having a conversation. I got to know that this guy's a very senior person in Amazon. And then the second I got to know that he's working for Amazon, I started asking a few questions. Hey, so, so first of all, I told him, say, I have a client working with recently had a client working with Amazon. He was staying at the Fairmont during the conflict. And he explained the whole incident. So I asked him some more questions. What is Amazon's thoughts behind this whole process? Do you think, because a lot of people are saying, oh, people like Amazon go away. It's like, no, people like Amazon have a very, very macro vision. They know where the market's heading, So, see, and now technically, let's say I work for Amazon. I can work from any part of the world, right? Because Amazon, you can work from any part of the world, but we chose Dubai, So we bought something in JLT, and then now he's like, hey, Zohaib, can you help me make some money, I've got some funds. Tell me where you'd like me to invest, and let's make some money. I'm just walking in a mall. Now this is what I want for all of you. Now, if I did phenomenal numbers in Hudayriyat, those were investors who've been assessing me for a very long time, because they're assessing people who make sense. They're assessing people who make strong predictions. They're assessing people, when something is being launched in Ras Al Khaimah, if you all go and say, hey, let's buy Win Casino Ras Al Khaimah, that's what everyone's doing. But if you say, hey, you know what, I'm not sure, that's a single anchor. Are there any other big major anchors? Okay, let's analyze what the price per square foot is. And then based on that, are there better opportunities? Hey, I think let's compare apple to an apple. If you're putting $1 million over there, you put $1 million there, I think it's a safer prediction over here. So it's your choice. Do you want to take a higher risk or you want for medium risk? I can give you both opportunities. When you start talking like this, who would not want to work with you? Because 90% of the audience are just doing that, right? Jake starts talking about Abu Dhabi, everyone goes to Abu Dhabi. Someone talks about Ras Al Khaimah, everyone goes to Ras Al Khaimah, right? Monkey see, monkey do. Nobody wants to give money to monkeys. But 90% of the market are filled with monkeys, right? So, now for the blueprint. The blueprint is, you have a few very strong portals, okay? There's LinkedIn, there's YouTube, there's Instagram, TikTok, let me say something, Facebook, right? Five portals, okay? Now, and of course, the major one is Google. Now, I'm working on Google right now, okay? So in the next few months, you're going to see us on top of Google as well. I'm figuring out ways on how to get on top of Google as well. Then AI is a whole different chapter. That's eventual integration and automation. But right now, I wanted to focus on these five, right? Because if you focus on these five, you can start working towards that 5 million dirhams. The idea is YouTube is your long-form content, okay? But if you make content what everyone else is making, it's the same boring shit, it's not exciting. So what you would have to do, so I'll tell you my routine. Every day morning, the first thing, as soon as I wake up, the first thing I do is actually read newspapers. It's boring, It's very old school, but I think it's classic, Old school is awesome, You could read it from, I don't care if you want to read it from the phone. I order literal physical newspapers. I know it's boring, but first thing I do is read newspapers, okay? Second thing, my TikTok algorithm itself has been aligned that, I always get daily updates on geopolitical news. You can slide into Bloomberg, I don't care. But your first few hours, I've always been dedicated towards learning. Then, because the first few hours is your brightest, your strongest part of the day, right? Your brain is maximum activated. Then I have some sort of a sports engagement. Now this, I promise you, this is really important as well. Being healthy, you have no idea. Like maybe 2 years ago, my productivity now is 150%. I'll tell you why. Because I was getting very lethargic. I was getting sleepy, lazy. I wanted to lie down, take naps. I used to get exhausted. Like 3 to 4 hours I used to work and I was done. I had to sleep. But the second I started working on my fiber protein, low carbs, high fiber, high protein diets, really good exercises, because a healthy body, a healthy mind, right? So it really plays a huge impact. See, again, over here, the difference between our company and other companies are that I don't want you to only to have a burnout after 5 months or 15 months or 20 months. You'll have a burnout if you don't follow this blueprint. It's really interesting, okay? You need to figure out your health aspect as well. If you don't figure out your health, you will get a burnout. I promise you. Because without a healthy mind, life is pointless. If you're unhappy, what's the point, right? Even if you make money, what's the point? If you're unhappy, if you're unhealthy, there's nothing more beautiful than health, okay? So I've done my research, I've done my workout, my mind is extremely fresh right now, right? Now, here comes the interesting part. YouTube, long form content, you got to research on YouTube. Who's your competition? There's not a lot of competition. This is what I've assessed. I've spoken to the biggest minds, okay, whether it's Amazon, BlackRock, Nvidia, everyone, okay? So there are very few names that keep popping up and about. There are very few names, okay? So luckily, we are one of those names. There's always will be one of the names which comes out of the mouth of maybe the top investors, which is a positive sign. So you need to start analyzing who do you resonate with, what kind of content you resonate with. So you got it on YouTube, okay? You start doing your research on that. Facebook, why Facebook is important? Because TikTok is banned in India. India is one of the biggest markets. That's 20% of your market share right there. So Facebook is still a big prominent website in India. So if you want to target the Indian market, you have to figure out Facebook a little bit as well. I'm weak on Facebook. I'm figuring out Facebook, okay? Instagram is for your savvy new investors, again, a different kind of investors. When I restarted my profile, so I had once a profile of 43,000 subscribers, now I have 5,000 subscribers. My lead generation is stronger with my 5,000 subscribers than my 43,000 subscribers, because my focus is always on quality, not quantity. So fuck the rat race, okay? You're not in a rat race. Take your own speed, your own time. Everyone has their own trajectory. We've got brilliant examples in the Dubai real estate market. So once you have some sort of concept towards your long form content, then you hit towards your short form content. Now, short form content towards Instagram is different and a different audience. Maybe Instagram and Facebook you can link to a certain extent, okay? But TikTok is different again, okay? So Instagram and Facebook, you plan like 60 seconds, it can go up to 2 minutes. But if you make an interesting content, okay? Again, all it takes, guys, is one reel to work out, one video. See, every video I have done with any consultant, they've received at least 1 or 2 investors. Now, maybe in this office, that's not considered great. But anywhere except this office, that's considered phenomenal. If you get 1 to 2 investors every month that you can work on and close a deal with, that's insane, okay? And that's all that it takes. One reel. I know of consultants who just started, who came to Dubai maybe 6 months ago. They just started going aggressive on Instagram. And they started closing deals aggressively. In the last Hudairat launch, this person I know who went aggressive on Instagram did 5 villas. So that's why, see, now this blueprint is extremely important. So this track that I'm telling you, on YouTube, your initial track should be at least around, it can be, cannot be. See, I'm getting the whole track, at least 1 video a week. But your Instagram, your Facebook, and now important part, TikTok. Now, the interesting part about TikTok is TikTok should be raw. Means you need to just talk. You can literally look into the phone and talk, or you can just place the camera somewhere and just talk. You have to start getting comfortable with this, because see, if you're not comfortable with these activities, then forget about that 5 million dirham mark. Then you can be an average consultant who will get burned out in 2 years' time. Then you're in the wrong industry. Or you can, see, a lot of people are happy with average. I'm not. life is this, but I like this, So that's my lifestyle as well, I love life king size, life is so much fun over here, it's so exciting. There's so much opportunity. The best part about real estate is you get to sit with amazing people, man. You discuss businesses, you discuss ideas. And now if you want a state where, like, it was awesome, right? Imagine a guy from Amazon walks to you and tells you, hey, can you help me make money? That's the goal that all of us want, right? One day if you want, because they have been assessing your predictions. So this should be your daily mental process, okay? I need to think of one interesting long-form content. I need to think of 60 to 120 seconds of extremely powerful content that could go on Instagram and Facebook. And I need to figure out, muster up the strength, do something on TikTok. Now, LinkedIn is also important. I'll tell you why also. Now, whichever one of these videos were your favorite, okay? You talk about it on LinkedIn and make a post, okay? Why? Because your best friend is going to be your algorithm. That is your best friend. And your algorithm respects intelligence. It respects consistency. It respects effort. You cannot cheat your algorithm. The point is, because I've tried it, I've tried hacks the algorithm. There's no cheating the algorithm. The algorithm observes your face, your content, because recently my YouTube's views started dropping, and then the YouTube algorithm told me, see, now you're trying to make your personal YouTube channel into a public or a professional YouTube channel, so it cannot work. That's why it's dropping. The algorithm wants me, so you have to make your solo videos. So it has to be a 70-30 split, where I have to do 70%, then I can generate more leads. So it's more effort on me. For me, it was easy, right? Just making videos. You guys do the research, just come on my channel, I'll prove. It was easy, life was fun. But life is not fun, life is never easy. So I'm going to work on that now, So the algorithm observes you not on a singular platform. They assess your digital footprint, your total digital footprint. Now, for Google, it's a whole different process, okay? That involves documents and notes, and so that we'll get on to the next stage. First, let's 3 months. See, I'll remember on some people's names that you type and this entire picture, information, all of that knowledge panel comes on the person. I'll get all of you guys on Google, okay? Because we have the connections, there are investors, so they'll give us a fast-track trajectory for it. But I need you guys to create something worth putting on Google as well, right? So if this blueprint that you follow, okay, every day, maybe first step, I do newspapers, I don't know what you want. You guys want to do Bloomberg, it's fine. Assess what's happening across the world. Understand, because on a newspaper, it gives you both. It gives the world, it gives Dubai, what's happening in Dubai. Second, try making intelligent content. Now, intelligent content, you can do brainstorming with people around you, or you can do it individually. I prefer your own like try working out your own brain. Don't 100% depend on Claude and ChatGPT, please, okay? Discuss with Claude and ChatGPT. In fact, let me take that back. Let Claude be your best friend. Discuss ideas with Claude, because Claude can bring out the best version of yourself. And then slowly you are feeding your AI emotional support, and it kind of backs you up as well. So start discussing so that you start making your own Claude extremely intelligent. Tell whatever you need and start making this format, okay? And so if you follow this particular blueprint till December, I promise you see all these guys, okay? So last year we made 5 millionaires from this company, okay? Now, technically, I made them, okay? So I know the blueprint. I enjoy doing this. So you have an advantage of working with somebody who enjoys doing this. For me, it gives me some sort of kick, supporting people's talents, giving them the nudge forward. But of course, I assess myself as well. There are some people who are worth it, some people are not worth it, When someone gives that kind of genuine effort, of course, we'd like to nudge them and push them forward. Like it's the same thing in personal training. If a coach gets a client who's lazy, he doesn't care. You run 1 kilometer, we don't care. They don't care. But if there's someone who's putting that kind of genuine effort, of course, they'd like to nudge them forward, So the next at least 3 months, I want you guys to have this blueprint in your head. And I want you to have that 5 million dirhams, like that vision. Okay, you know what? I need to achieve this. This is my goal. These are the set of activities. Now you can put in your products into this blueprint. Whatever products that make sense to you. It can be, I don't know, it could be Abu Dhabi, it could be Dubai, I don't know about Ras Al Khaimah, it can be Ajman, it could be Sharjah. The other day, I didn't even realize there's this launch Alif in Sharjah, Mamzar Beach, sold out, you can't get EOIs. So when everyone was focusing on Hudayriyat, you guys could just sell something completely different and make a killing. I remember once I did, so when everyone was focusing on some of the products, I focused on Furjan, I made a killing out of Furjan. So it's not necessary to follow what everyone is following. Follow your own instincts, okay? But this is the blueprint. If you follow this, but also intelligently. If you make content that is just boring and you're just copying someone else, I don't think it's going to work either. You have to use your own ideas, your own brain, your own assessment. And another thing, a guy from Amazon is not going to approach you if you just read out a brochure. Means a brochure has all the information. Price, floor plan, built-up area, all of that. If you just give that information out, it's not appealing. You need to give the outcome, or like, okay, and you need to show your value add as a consultant. Means, let's suppose you pick a product, okay? Tell me a product. Huh? Yards, okay? You pick up yards, okay? Now, yards, you tell them, hey, payment plan is what, 40-60? 40-60. Million-dirham product, you know what? I just need to invest 400,000 dirhams in a span of 3 years. What we can do is we work with a company that has the largest investor network. We have offices in UK, US, Australia. For us, trading is extremely easy. The entire proof of the pudding is online any which way. We've given examples of flipping in 3 hours. So we've got the largest investor network. So if you put in 400,000 dirhams, I can sell it almost immediately, like at around, I can make a 200,000 dirham profit. That's 50%. That's conservative. But the best case scenario is maybe we can push it towards an 80% mark. So all I need to do is, if you have the capacity to invest around $100,000 over the next 3 years, I have the capacity to make that $150,000. Does that interest you? So when you put in a pitch like that, you sell the outcome. You're not going to say, hi, welcome to Beyond. Look at the beautiful master plan. Wow, 70% landscape, so much greenery. Reminds me of Kerala, That doesn't help, Instead, you sell because the serious investors want to know how much money they can make. That's it, And then you add on to it. Hey, not just that. I'll give you something even more interesting. If you can invest $100,000 in, I'll get the rest financed. So I'll try and push your ROI up to maybe 12 to 15%. I'll manage the whole thing for you. It's hands-free investment for you. You're investing into an emerging market, and I'm your top consultant. But did you get the idea that if you, this is all that it takes, and you cannot lie on social media. So this guy, very interesting. So the guy who came in again, I'm keeping saying the Amazon guy. So when I'm referencing one guy, when I mean Amazon guy, I mean investor, intelligent, assessing, and this is, so every time I make a video, there's something called client profiling. I have a certain client I'm looking to attract, and I make a video according to that client, right? He's told me, hey, you know what? I only watch 2 people. I'm not going to say the second person, but I really enjoy videos. I've been assessing since 2019. All your predictions have come true. I even like Yash a lot. I think he's a very serious, no bullshit guy. So I really enjoy that content as well. Do you get it? So people are observing everything, everyone, it's very important. You cannot bullshit investors. So you need to make that sort of genuine effort to study, analyze, compare, assess what is a good product. See, maybe we will not sell as aggressive as others because others are selling blind, they're playing a bluff. But we are going to play the long-term game. Means my biggest concern of real estate when I started real estate was I was sick and tired of every month running on a hamster wheel. Means a typical broker, he's on edge. He's a nervous wreck because every month they have to sell, hunt, sell, try. They close a deal, they're exhausted. They go for a break, they come back, again the same thing. There was no consistency in real estate. That's the biggest concern, right? That we don't have salaries, we don't commissions. That's the biggest concern. But how to make it the biggest advantage? Now, I know that in a month, how much minimum I will close. Can you believe peak of the conflict? March, I sat with Kamran and I asked him, what is the minimum break even to run the company? He told me 25 million. I told him, I'll give you 25 million. Relax. I'll give you 25. I got 25 million minimum. In fact, I crossed it. So it's like, I know how much minimum I will close. Minimum is boring now. For me, I'm trying to push it to the next limits, right? So when you reach this phase, you will stop having that concern that, oh my God, every month I'm on a hamster on a wheel, because you know that every month you're going to get those clients. But for that, you have to build the foundation, right? For that, you have to take effort, right? Like you got to do the squats. So this is got to work on the legs, the foundation first. So this is your foundation, okay? So next 3 months, we're going to try and just keep at this. So are we clear on the blueprint? Are there any questions on the blueprint? Any questions on the blueprint? And then insecurities, okay? Insecurities, confidence issues, childhood trauma, emotional coddling, I don't know, right? Toxicity, okay? Toxic friends, toxic family, toxic relatives, everything, okay? Right? You guys, yes, full. Now it's do or die. You're either that $1 million consultant or you're not, right? You got to decide for yourselves. I've given you the blueprint. If you do this without all this bullshit, you will reach there. I promise you, I've done it. So, but that's it, guys. The thing is, Monday we're all motivated. I feel like the motivation dies down between the week, If we can work on keeping this momentum fully charged up, I'm always charged up. I want all of you guys to be charged up the same way. So I think it's pretty simple. It's not very complex. If you try just these few things, every morning, maybe start with some sort of intelligence, geopolitics, news, then some sort of training, focus on some sort of a diet. Then figure out some intelligent content. It's not very complex. When you break it down, it's not very complex. And I promise you guys are on such a strong platform at this stage. Like 3X Capital is known as the most intelligent consultants in the market right now. Everyone respects us, Everyone respects us. Everyone knows us. Like, see, if me and Kamran go to an award show, like, even the guys at the big table stand up, come, oh wow, we watch your content, our agents watch your content, we train our agents based on your content. That's phenomenal, right? So we have such a strong platform that, okay, if you're representing 3X Capital, means you're smart. So we have covered one barrier there, okay? Because when someone sees some people from some companies, you're like, oh, okay, this guy's a dancer, or this guy's a funny character. Some companies are like, that guy's definitely a fraud, So, but we have a very strong reputation. So you guys are not standing on the ground, we're at a foundation. Now, all you have to do is amplify yourselves. That's it. And if you need any support, you've got some fantastic people over here. Very soon, you're going to find us on top You'll find us on Gulf News, Arabian Business, Entrepreneur Middle East, Forbes, Google, everywhere, So we're at a track, I want you to grab onto the momentum, Become that brand, Become a person people trust. Okay? Good day. Thank you. Thank you, guys.